name's Bonnie Hickey. I'm the Sustainability Director at Bridger Bowl Ski Area. Well, sustainability, the word itself, kind of declares why it's so important. Bridger Bowl has been running successfully as a nonprofit since 1955. Many generations have learned to ski here. The population of Bozeman, you think about all the MSU students over the years who learned to ski here and went on to continue skiing with their families. And so it's all of our love for Bridger Bowl and wanting to see it continue to operate successfully. Our direct emissions, our Scope 1 and some of our Scope 3, we're offsetting all of that, and we've been 100% zero emissions from our direct emissions for the last 4 years. We are going to be running on 100% renewable energy this winter. So our 2000 system was a recirculating sand filter, and over time it wasn't performing as well as we wanted. With the growth in visitation at Bridger, we're getting higher loads in our wastewater system, and we also wanted to perform better. We wanted to have less nitrogen going back out into the environment. And that was when Dr. Otto Stein from MSU stepped in, and he's one of the world's authorities on these wetlands water treatment systems, and helped develop it from a pilot project to one that was 4 years later accepted by the Department of Environmental Quality as a type of water treatment system that can be used in Montana for both residential and commercial applications.
I'm Laura. So I'm a grad student, a master's student in the civil engineering department, working on Bridger Bowl treatment wetland. The system collects water from the base lodges, so wastewater, at Bridger that's coming from the toilets and the sinks. It's what we call concentrated wastewater, so it has high concentrations of all these contaminants that we're trying to remove. So it collects water at the base in a bunch of tanks, and there's some pre-sedimentation that happens, so that's like anything that's solid in the wastewater will fall out in those tanks. There's a series of them, and then it gets pumped up the hill. This system over here is what treats most of the wastewater coming from Bridger Bowl. So there's 2 stages for both of them. So the water gets piped in at the top, and then it goes through the gravel or sand in the system. The top cell, the upper cell for denitrification, is partially saturated, so we keep the water level pretty near to the plant roots in that cell, and then the second stage is unsaturated, so the water just passes through it. And because it's being discharged into this place, which is beautiful, like having really clean water discharged definitely spikes Bridger Bowl's sustainability. So this stage takes that water from the septic tanks we saw down there, and it applies it to this partially saturated system, and it also alternates doses from the recycle tank with the septic tank water. So we're removing nitrate from the recycle tank water and carbon from the septic tank water. This is our final estimate. So this water is the water that's coming out of the end of the entire system. So yeah, this is the water. When I talk about we're removing nitrogen from the system, we want to do that because nitrogen can contribute to eutrophication. So that's when like plants and algae get a lot of nitrogen, which is a nutrient, makes them grow a lot, takes up all the oxygen from the water, and so aquatic life don't have enough oxygen to live. And then because the plants are kind of overgrown, they start to die off, and all that dead plant matter is more organic carbon to the system. Just being able to like ski down and there's informational signs and having people exposed to this type of system and realizing like, hey, my waste goes somewhere and it needs to be treated, and it needs to be treated to a standard that will not impact the environment too much. I think that's really cool because it gets everyone involved. Not only are they meeting regulations for total nitrogen and carbon removal, which is obviously important from Bridger Bowl's perspective, but they're also doing a really good job of it.
You can treat the water within a small footprint, With our land here at Bridger Bowl, of course, we need to fit our water treatment on the land that we own, which is pretty much from the Mid-Mountain Lodge down through the parking lots. It costs less to build than a full water treatment plant, and it uses much less power than a traditional mechanical water treatment system, ensuring that through the operation of Bridger Bowl, we're not damaging local streams. And just use of the land, biodiversity. You know, when you're adding wetlands, there is a certain amount of biodiversity that you're adding back into the system. Anything that we can do to lower emissions helps contribute to lessening climate change, which then reduces wildfires, the extreme conditions, the weather conditions. We're also looking at what science is telling us is coming, and so we're acting now to prevent what could happen in the future.